Welcome to the Mindset Experiment, where we don't just talk about growth, we test it in real life. I'm Victoria.
And I'm Jacob. Every week, we're challenging our habits, our thinking, and the stories we've been telling ourselves, and documenting what actually changes.
This isn't about being perfect, it's about being honest.
Let's get into this week's experiment.
Welcome back to another episode of the Mindset Experiment.
Number 16.
Number 16. Episode 16. Yep.
Today's topic is about protecting your peace.
Yep. Protecting your peace.
And how to do it. And why to do it.
And who can do it.
And where you can do
it. So,
what is it?
Yeah, what is it? So protecting your peace, a lot of people think that protecting your peace is just like avoiding discomfort. But it's actually being intentional about what gets your attention and your energy and your time and your emotions and access to you. Yeah, reactions for sure. So sometimes it can be having an uncomfortable conversation, or it can be setting a boundary, or admitting something is not healthy for you anymore and you want to change it, or letting somebody be disappointed in what you choose.
Or just not reacting a certain way. Can be one.
So something that we were just kind of talking about was like how you respond. So when you are protecting your peace, something that you don't have to do is respond to whatever is like triggering you.
Right, like somebody's doing something and your reaction is to get upset. You don't need to get upset. You don't even need to give that a reaction. It's okay to just see something and be like, that doesn't pertain to me.
Right.
In the sense of like, it's going to make me upset. Now, if you're seeing something that is bad, you need to step in and help out.
Sure.
But if you're seeing somebody that's doing something and it's just something you wouldn't do and it's making you upset, well, don't watch them. You know, that's their life and they want to do something, then let them do it. Doesn't have any weight or bearing on how you should be. So don't give it the attention to make you upset, because then that's not when you get mad, and when you're mad, you're not at peace.
Yeah. So one thing that I wrote down, which I thought was like, it makes sense, is asking yourself, like in a situation like that, like somebody sends you a text message that you think is like passive aggressive, or you see something posted online that you are like 100% sure that you know is about you, or people's opinions about you that you may hear, or get passed down through the grapevine or whatever. You could ask yourself, does this require a response from me, or is it just simply asking for my reaction? Because a lot of people, like, they're trying to say something to you because they want your reaction. They want the back and forth. They want you to be upset. They're looking for you to do that. Like, and we see that all the time. Mm-hmm. People are like rage baiting you, or, just doing things to try and get under your skin. Like, you can say, okay, well, does that really require me to respond to that? Or is that person just like truly asking for
a negative reaction?
Right, my reaction. And then that can be a good way for you to say, oh no, like I do need to step in and I do need to say something, or like, nah, like that's not worth my time and my energy or my feeling toward it.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, one requires and the other one's asking. So not everything has to require an explanation or require a defense or require your energy. Another thing is that a lot of people think that access equals love, meaning that like, oh, I give you all of my time and all of my energy and all of my emotion and like access to all of me, when truly you can still love somebody and set boundaries with them. Like saying like, oh, like I can't have that conversation with you because I know that we think differently about it. Oftentimes this happens with like politics and families, where even though they're in the same family, they can't get along because of their political views, and it's really just like, well, you can still love each other and still be family, but not have to talk about those things that you disagree about necessarily, especially if neither one of you is willing to budge
Right.
on your beliefs, which is fine. Those are your beliefs. Um,
In the same sense too, like you can also protect your peace by like if that certain family member or friend generally gets a certain reaction out of you every time, then it's up to you to realize that and be like, well, I'm not gonna go hang out with Becky because she's always negative about this, and then I end up feeling bad about it, and then I spend the whole day feeling sorry or
mm,
feeling some negative feeling that I shouldn't because I went and hung out with Becky. Like at that point, maybe not Becky's a good friend for you.
yeah,
Just you don't have to hang out with certain people, even family. You don't have to go see them.
yeah,
If
definitely.
if you feel uncomfortable or it's just always a negative outcome, well, that's not protecting your peace. It's actually adding to the worry and stress in your life that you don't need. And it's okay not to go
Hmm.
and be around those individuals.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. I know a lot of people have problems like cutting family out. You know what I mean? Like for some people, it's real easy, but for other people, it's harder. You know what I
I
mean?
wouldn't
And
necessarily say you're cutting them out. You're just not giving it like if you're fat. Like for example, well, that's not negative. Uh, if people like to partake in alcohol, I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I'm going to go hang out with you, especially I know, okay, at night you like to drink. Well, I might not call you in the nighttime or go to your house and visit you at nighttime because you like to do certain things that I don't like to do. So, like,
I'm protecting my peace from that.
I'm not going to
We can
go.
meet up and
Yeah, I
have
can call you in the
lunch.
morning when you're waking up and in full coherence. That's wonderful.
Sure.
And I don't mind doing that, but I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I shouldn't because I'm gonna just end up being angry, and at the end of the day, that's not fun for you or me.
Yeah. But I would say like for people too that like to hang out with certain friends or a certain family where like it can be a good time, but there's also stuff that like you guys know like things have happened in the past or there's things that you're not going to agree upon. Like it's okay, like if you feel like it's worth your energy and you like to go and hang out with them and you have a good time when you're with them, then having enough I guess courage to say like if they say something like they start talking negatively about somebody, right, and that really just drains you, it exhausts you. You're like, oh, I don't want to talk negatively about you know whoever
Becky,
else. Yeah, Becky. We always use
Becky,
Becky as an
sorry, Becky, if
example.
you're watching, you get the S end of the stick.
Yeah, so you don't want to negatively talk about Becky and they start negatively talking about that person. It's like, hey, like I don't really want to talk about them. Like, let's talk about something different because that mentally drains me. And like, I'd rather have a good time because we have a good time hanging out rather than our spending our time hanging out and being all negative about Becky because I don't really like her either. But I'm not trying to sit here and talk about her,
Right.
right? Um. So yeah, not necessarily having to cut people out, but like you said, tailoring when you're with them and when you're talking to them, and then also having enough courage to set boundaries that you like that and in conversation right then and there, like face to face. It takes a lot for sure.
Just
That's not easy.
tailor your emotions and your expectations, right? Like,
Yeah,
it can even apply to your boss, right? Your boss may or may not be a good leader, and you know that about your boss, so you choose to like, okay, well, if he or she's gonna come down hard on me, and they're a negative leader, well, then you know this, so you shouldn't have negative feelings towards that and get up riled up, right? Like
sure. It shouldn't be something that you have to carry through
at the
on.
end of the day, it's a plus B kind of thing. Oh, that's my boss. She's expected of, or he's expected of something. They're gonna come down on you because you're lower than them. Whether they do it in the appropriate way or not, that's entirely up to that individual. But up to you is how you take it, right? At the end
Right.
of the day, hey, I'm being told something by my boss. This is what I gotta do, whether it's the right thing or not. But that's also how you can protect your peace in that situation, with
Knowing the expectation.
knowing your expectations and tailoring your feelings. I'm not going to get upset about this. I already know it's coming. Let's write it out and fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So it works with all kinds of people. It's your family, your friends, your bosses, or even if you're leaders too, right? You have to protect your peace, knowing like, okay, well, I have a staff that might not be the best, or they might be the best, but at the end of the day, I have to lead them to the best of my abilities. So I'm not going to get upset when they don't do something that they shouldn't be doing. It's up to me to be like, well, I got to fix that and
Right. Take it in and make a plan to
make it better or make them better too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, protecting your peace might sound easy, but it is. I mean, it is easy. It's just being able to identify the situations that present themselves. We're all given opportunities to work on what we're working on, right? Like, I've prayed for patience in the past, and God has definitely given me opportunities to be patient. Well, how are you going to get patient if you don't have the opportunities to get patient?
practice.
Right? You're going to be presented with opportunities to protect your peace, to be like, you know what, I'm not going to go and hang out with my best friend today because, well, my best friend likes to party and go chase women, and it's like, that's not for me. I don't party A anymore. I'm old, and B, I already chased my woman and I caught her. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just how you recognize the opportunities and take those opportunities serious and work on it. So that's how you would start with protecting your peace.
Mm-hmm. So protecting your peace doesn't mean that you need to become like selfish or like cold. Like that's not what protecting your peace is. It's more like you stop abandoning yourself to keep everybody else around you comfortable or everybody around you happy, right? Because like people, because oftentimes protecting your peace means like you're going to disappoint somebody. If you're telling your best friend that you don't want to go out and drink and chase women, like they're going to be upset, right? And you as a person have to be like, well, I'm okay with doing that because I don't want to do that with you. We can hang out at a different time, right? And then set a boundary. We can hang out at a different time and go do this, and something that we both like to do, but I don't want to go hang out with you and drink and chase women. Like I don't need that. You know what I mean? So like it's potential to disappoint somebody, and also you have to set boundaries which go along with protecting your peace. Those are very like big things that people struggle with, is disappointing people and then setting boundaries. And that's how you can protect your peace, is doing both of those things. So oftentimes the person that is on the other side of you protecting your peace is like, oh well, you're being selfish. That's selfish of you. Like how could you say that? How could you do that to me? Like blah blah blah. We've been doing this together for all of these years, and now all of a sudden that's not something that you want to do anymore. Like what's going on? And it's like, well, now I've just made the conscious decision to not abandon myself and what I want and what I know is best for me to make everybody else around me comfortable or everybody around me have a good time. Like I have to think about myself and my mental and where I live, right? In my head, so that I can be a good friend to you later on. You know what I mean? Or I can be a better person, or like we can coexist and not be like rah, 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 at each other all the time, So I found some scientific research. Well, I didn't really find it, but I kind of connected it myself, and then I asked chat like, oh hey, do these two things connect like the way that I'm thinking that they connect? And on one of the previous podcasts we talked about your like fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. I don't remember which episode it was, but talking about like your amygdala and how your amygdala is majority like an emotional center, and then like your prefrontal cortex is a majority a like response to that emotion. So a lot of people think that they work independently when really they work together. And so when you are protecting your peace and you're not used to protecting your peace, oftentimes you have to pause and take a step back and ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Is this worth my time? things like that, right? So when your trigger response comes in and your best friend says, "Yo, bro, like let's go out. We're gonna party tonight and go to the bar or whatever," and your first response usually would have been like, "Yeah, like I'm down," even though you don't really want to. You have to really train yourself to pause and take a break before you just automatically respond to that. So also talking about your response to things, right? And like not getting stuck in that habitual loop of, oh yeah, this is what I normally do. So I just say yes. Giving yourself the time to pause when your amygdala's kicking in and you're being more emotional about things. Pause, take a break, take a breath, and then it allows your prefrontal cortex to come in and make the like more conscious decision of, do I really want to go do that? Is it really worth my time? Or do I need to protect my peace and not go do that? Maybe say, hey, why don't we go do something else tomorrow or the next day? You know what I mean? So pausing before you respond and give your brain time to assess and decide the true feelings and not just going into that flight, fight, or freeze.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm. So, if you are like, well, I feel like, how do I? Ooh, thunder.
Thunder.
How do I figure out where I'm not protecting my peace? Like where I feel that I'm losing my energy and where I'm losing my time. You can ask yourself things like, who leaves me consistently emotionally exhausted? And then if you can answer that question and you feel like that's an area in your life where you have something, then you can go, okay, well, how am I going to limit their access to me? How am I going to say, hey, I don't want to do that with you today. Why don't we have lunch on Monday or something like that, right? And limit their access to you. Or you can ask yourself, what conversations always turn into arguments? And then if you figure out what and who you're having those situations with, well, then you can set boundaries and say, hey, I don't think we shouldn't talk about that. Like, let's have a good time instead of talking about, negative things, whatever those conversations are. Or you can ask yourself, what commitments make me resentful? So having to do something for somebody else, or for an organization, or for your job, or whatever. Where is that happening, and like how is it making you resentful? And then figuring out a way to maybe talk with your boss about getting different responsibilities, or maybe a different way to go about your responsibilities, or um, trying to break up the commitment of like, you're having to feed a bunch of people and it's too much on your plate, of like maybe asking for some help. Like, that's okay. What are you going to say?
I don't know. Just real big.
Okay.
Sorry.
Or you ask yourself, what apps make me anxious, right? So if it's being on social media and then always feeling like, Instagram or Facebook or whatever, Snapchat, I don't know what you're on. Like, though, if those things are giving you anxiety in terms of like, oh, how you're thinking about people thinking about you all the time, and then you're not really being who you are, being true to yourself, then maybe you limit your time on those apps, or maybe you delete them altogether. You can ask yourself, what situations make me feel like I need to prove myself? So if you feel like you have to be, the best person in the room, well, maybe you need to remove yourself from those circles, where you are constantly, people are looking down upon you or trying to make you feel like, oh, well, you don't really belong here. So what do you need to do in order to prove yourself to be here? Maybe that's not the right circle for you to be in. And taking a break from that, or taking a step away from that, is okay. That's part of, maybe disappointing some people that are in that circle, or disappointing people that you're, going to those situations with, and saying, hey, I'm not going to do that anymore. And that's okay. Like, that's you protecting your peace, not being selfish, but saying like, hey, I don't like the way that situation makes me feel, so I don't have to continue to put myself in that situation.
It just ties back into the last episode, right? Of stepping out of your comfort zone. Those things that you just described aren't very comfortable to do, right? Especially when those are some of those are your people that you hang out with on a daily basis, and those aren't very tough, easy tasks to just be like, oh yeah, we're gonna stop talking about that. We're gonna talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do those things and you do what she's saying, then you're stepping out of your comfort zone, and then that's when you'll be able to start to grow and start to truly protect your peace. Because at the end of the day, what are we doing all this for? Is to be better human beings, to be better at either just living our lives on a daily basis, being productive, and um, getting the fulfillment we're looking for. So by doing those things, you stepping out of your comfort zone and protecting your peace is helping you become the person that you want to be. That's if that's the journey you're looking for, right? We're not saying that everybody has to do that. Some people enjoy having those conversations or being uncomfortable like that. And to them, that might not be protecting their peace by doing that, but a lot of that is, right. Like a lot of what you just talked about is for people who are truly trying to get better and be better. So it might not be easy as it sounds, but it's definitely something worth trying, right? And it all stems from all of them tied together. It's just stepping out of your comfort zone and applying these helpful tricks he's teaching us, and your piece will start improving vastly. I feel not at first. It might feel just like anything you do, it's going to be awkward and uncomfortable. But the more you do this, and the more you practice at these things, then they just become second nature. And then at the end of the day, you start realizing it's up to you to control everything in your immediate life, right? There's a lot of stuff that I can't control. Right now it's raining and I couldn't control that. We were going to go out and do this and have fun, and now it's ruined the day, but it really hasn't, right? It's
How you respond to that.
now we're going to pivot and do something different. And it just all ties into the same thing of being better, and then stepping out of your comfort zone and trying to be better. That's how you ultimately protect your peace. And the more you do it, the easier it will become.
That's true for all of it.
No?
The more you do it, because like you said in the beginning, it definitely is harder, and it may make you have to have uncomfortable conversations, or it may make you lose some friends that you thought were really good friends. But at the end of the day,
Are they truly your friend if that's what ultimately stopped y'all from talking to,
that you were trying to be better.
you guys are if your friend is your friend, they're going to love you whether you talk about politics with them or not, or whatever the case may be. Oh, you don't party and I party, well then okay, well we won't do that. We'll just go back to talking how we talked about other stuff.
Right. Doing what we were doing before we had access to alcohol. Or I don't know. Yeah. So I think that, yeah, like you said, protecting your peace is definitely tied to a lot of other things that we've talked about in the past, and a lot of other things that we've talked about in the past are related to like things that we've talked to you about in the past of that past.
It's how you just take all of them and put it together and move forward. All of these topics are gonna correlate in some way or another, and really you can't do one without the other, right? This is gonna take some discipline and some consistent thinking on your part to be like, well, I want to be better and I want to do this better.
Yeah. Like you said, stepping out of your comfort zone, developing those new neural pathways, strengthening the ones that you already have so that it becomes easier each time they have to do it. Yep. This also, like, whenever I was reading about it, I was like, oh, wow, this is, like, really pertaining to the book, Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is, like, pretty much that, but in, like, a nicer way.
Yeah. Truly, because at the end of the day,
It's where you're spending your time and energy.
That's all, folks. No, but at the end of the day, yeah, it's where you spend your time and what before all of this mindset adventure, I spend my time in pointless stuff. At least to me now, looking back, I spend my whole life on pointless shit. I'd be so far along the lines if I would have started this mindset experiment years ago. But yeah, no, it's where you spend your time. I've enjoyed spending my time reading about all this stuff lately and getting better, right? I want to be better. I want to be a better leader for people, and I want to be a better teacher for Lincoln and everybody else I meet along the way, right? If you guys have questions, email us. We'll gladly dive into trying to help you out too.
Mhm.
But it's where you spend your time on stuff at the end of the day. And are you spending your time on things that are A, fruitful for you and your family, and B, does it help build protecting your peace? As of recent, I feel like everything we've been doing is, yeah, it's both. It's helping our family and getting us to a point in our life where we're like content and happy. Not to say that we're not happy, but forgive my English language, more happy, happier. Are y'all glad you came today? I'm glad y'all were here today. um, we're not experts, but we do offer some good insight for different point of views, and Victoria's really good at helpful advice. That's for sure. I believe so. Don't have to look at me that way.
Yeah.
So if you do want to talk to us, feel free to email us. I think it is on the bottom of our description page somewhere in there on YouTube. If not,
Leave a
after
comment.
episode 16, we will get to you. Yeah, comment if you feel. We'll comment back.
Mm-hmm.
We're all in it together to be better as one,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully.
Yeah, and it all is an experiment. So your questions could be questions that we have too, and then that can be something that we dive deeper into and get more specific on. So
Yeah, and if you guys have questions about how it's going and we haven't mentioned anything in our past episodes, I was going to say recent, our past episodes, and want to know, yeah, we're like open books.
very booky, very open.
Very full of knowledge.
So thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you for coming. I'm glad you were here today.
Yep, glad you guys are here. Glad we were here today. Praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus.
We'll be here next week too. Good Lord willing.
If this thunderstorm don't wash us away, it sounded pretty angry. I don't know if you guys were hearing it in the background. Probably not, but we are in Texas and it does get pretty.
It does. So anyway, tune in next time for our next podcast, which I don't remember the name of right now, but tune in next time.
I think it's God, I was just talking about it a second ago.
Something about not being trapped.
Oh,
expectations.
The expectations trap.
The expectations trap. Yep.
Yep. So stay tuned for that one. More to come.
See
Hold
you
on
next
to your
time.
seats. Goodbye.
Goodbye.